Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nur Iqman bin Ishamuddin and my student ID is 17008165 and I'm from group Spassky. And today our group, which is Spassky group, will talk about the opening of the chess. Okay, I will talk about introduction and the objective. The first move of a chess game are termed the opening or opening move. A good opening will provide a better protection of the king, control over an area of the board, particularly in the center, great mobility for pieces, and possibly opportunity to capture opposing pawn and pieces. Okay, the key of both sides is that white move first. White spend the first part of the game trying to convert this temporary advantage into something more lasting. Black tried to eliminate white temporary advantage. The objective in the opening of a chess game is to reach a good position. In all opening, there is a struggle for a key territory, in particular the center square, and effort to deploy pieces and pawn in useful position. And next we will talk about three opening, which is the first opening is Sicilian defense, and the second opening is fried liver attack, and the last opening, which is the third opening, is Ruy Lopez. Now I will pass to my friend Jia Li to talk more about Sicilian defense.
I will be explaining the Sicilian defense, which is one of the openings of chess. It begins with white to e4 and then black to c5. This opening is very much used in games in response to white's e4 move. Some players even prefer to start with d4 because of the high winning rate by using the Sicilian defense. Now, as I mentioned before, as they start off with e4 and c5, white will usually follow up its next move with knight to f3, as it wants to take control of the d4 and the e5 square, which is one of the cons for this defense, as white has many ways to meet the Sicilian. For example, black will then move to d6, which prevents white's pawn from moving up. Let's say white's pawn moves to d4, black can just capture it. But this takes the risk of white's queen capturing black's pawn, but it is not a very good move for white, as you do not want to involve your queen too early into the center. But if you do, black can just threaten it by moving its knight over here. White can just capture black's pawn with its knight. As mentioned in the PowerPoint, one of the pros of the Sicilian defense is that it gives black a very good chance of attack. Black can start an attack by moving its knight to f6, but white can just defend it by moving its knight to c3. Now they are both equally in the center. Black can play out an aggressive attack by moving to a6, and this will prevent white's bishop from attacking black's king. And so these are some of the key points to look out for in the Sicilian defense, and it is a very good defense in terms of the winning rate. So I will like to pass on the next opening to PG.
Okay, thank you Jelly for the explanation on the Sicilian defense. Next, I will explain about the fried liver attack. The fried liver attack is also known as the Fagatello attack. It is a variation of the two knights defense in which white sacrifices a knight for an attack on black's king. It usually begins from the Italian game moves, which is e4, e5, knight f3, knight c3, and then bishop c4. The main ideas about this opening are to keep attacking the opponent king and don't let them develop their pieces. This is the annotation for the opening. As we can see, white play aggressively and choose to sacrifice the knight. Okay, next is for the pros and cons for the fried liver attack. The fried liver attack is an aggressive gameplay, so for those who like to play aggressive can learn this opening. This opening is very easy to learn and is a very fun opening. It gives white the advantages in the early game. For the weakness of this opening, the fried levy attack can be easily detected and stopped by black. It can be countered by Polero defense and Drexler counter gambit. Uh, that's all for the fried levy attack. Next, I will pass to Farids and Abu for the third opening.
Thank you to my fellow teammates. Now I will be talking about one of the famous Spanish opening named Ruy Lopez opening. Rodrigo Ruy Lopez de Segura was a Spanish chess player, author and Roman Catholic priest. He wrote in 1561 a book named Ajedrez, which was one of the first books about modern chess in Europe. He made great contributions to chess opening theory, including the King's Gambit and the Ruy Lopez opening that bears his name. Lopez was also the strongest player in Spain for about 20 years. Ruy Lopez opening characterized by these moves, and I'll pass the floor to Mr. Farids to explain more detail about Ruy Lopez opening. That is all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Farid and I will be demonstrating a variation of Ruy Lopez opening against Stockfish level 8 in Lichess. So we will start with pawn e4. If black responds with pawn e5, we will attack pawn e5 with knight f3. Now if black responds with defense to pawn e5 with knight b6, we'll move bishop to b5 attacking the knight, and black should defend with attacking our bishop with pawn a6, and what we'll have to do for this variation is take knight at c6, and the best response for black will be taking bishop with pawn c6, and the next move will be pawn d4, and black will take pawn d4. We will trade with queen taking d4, and we make a queen trade, and white will have control over the middle area. That is all for this variation. Thank you.
Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. So my name is Faiz, and with me today is Haziq. We will be annotate a game that using Ruy Lopez, or also known as Berlin Defense opening in the game. So the game that we choose is the game that has been played by Hikaru Nakamura and Wesley So, the two great grandmasters in World of Chess. So this game has been played last year, to be exact, 18 September, in some rapid game. So let's check it out. Alright. So basically, Berlin Defense is I skip to the openings. This is very simple, which is the white opening, e4, then f3, then b5. So there's it. This is the Berlin Defense, or we call it as Ruy Lopez. So it's a good, solid, offensive attack from white, and from what I see here, it's not bad. What we call defensive line or counter attack from black. So yeah, what do you think, Haziq? About black?
If you move one more step forward, I think we can see, yeah, black counterattacks, I would say, defends very nicely with two of the knights, and I would say this is a very good, even though simple, it's a very good counterattack to the for the current situation. So that's a very good move from Wesley. So
Yeah. So yeah. So before that, all right. So in this position, white Hikaru Nakamura actually has two options, which either to capture the knight, either to capture the e5 knight, or basically escape from that, and maybe for another time. But since the pieces is quite balanced here, so Hikaru Nakamura, guess what? He decided to capture the knight. Yeah, it's right. So because of in chess, we need to find the balance of the pieces. If we are sacrificed for goods, then it's good. So yeah, we proceed with the games, and yeah, it's there's all right. I would like Haziq to mention about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
As we can see on the board here, we can see that most of the pieces are pretty much balanced on each side from white and black. No significant, so no side has no significant advantage over one another. So right now it's a pretty balanced game with pretty balanced power. So I think right now both of them are trying to play defensively, but also trying to find opportunities. But if we move further towards the end of the game, we can see that um, uh, white and black after a few steps are gonna trade some pieces together. But however, they're gonna take one piece by one piece. So in the end, the board is still pretty much balanced all the way to the end. So as we can see here, the pieces are pretty much balanced, and no side has a significant advantage over each other. And as we can see here, Hikaru Nakamura and Wesley So have agreed to come to a draw.
Yeah. So yeah, Haziq actually conclude the game. So basically, at this stage, as a GM, right, as a grandmasters, they can see the future. Oh, this game has no future. Whatever they choose to whatever move they choose to make, this game will end in a draw. So at this stage, Hikaru and Wesley So decided to agree for a draw in this game. So basically, that's some sort of more or less like the interesting part in chess. We can Many things can happen because there's a lot of probability in chess. So anything you want to add, Haziq, before?
Not much really, other than the fact that yes, this is a pretty balanced game, and honestly, if they continued on much further, they wouldn't really get much anywhere in terms of power and balance. So it was wise for both of them to call it a draw. So I think that's the end of our part of
All right.
the annotation.
So as a conclusion for the whole video, as a conclusion from the Spassky Chess, me, Faiz, on behalf of the Spassky group, KSP1171 Chess, would like to thank our instructors for these opportunities to actually explain and explain on what we get during the classes. And this is some sort of, we have learned 3 openings from my friends, which is the Fried Liver Defense, Sicilian Defense, and this one, the Lopez, or what called Berlin Defense. So I hope you guys can use this knowledge to actually apply in your chess games, chess openings. Use the openings, try to use this, and try to play chess as more as possible, because to be good, right? So before we proceed,
Yeah.
before I leave, I would like to leave with a quote from a great figure, I guess. He said, if you look, your opponent has a bold move or has a brilliant move, look for a better one. So that's all from us, Spassky Chess 2021. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.